King J, back with another video, but I am not alone. So we have one of the best Ninas in the world, Jodd from France. Welcome on board, man.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Man, it's a pleasure, man, to have you on board, man. So we're going to talk about Nina in Tekken 8. So the thing with Nina is that she's quite a difficult character for people that are trying to learn her. So I just wanted to know, what do you think about the character in Tekken 8?
He is a difficult character to learn and to get into. There's a lot of moves, a lot of different things you might be thinking about doing when you start, and everything is kind of difficult to do. So a lot of new players actually come to me saying that they're a little bit lost on what to do when you start playing Nina. I do think that she's a good investment though, like very fun to play, very engaging, can deal with pretty much anything. And yeah.
So when you're doing that step, what is the step called for people that don't know? That step where you're kind of stuttering. Yeah, this one.
So this move is side step 1. And it's a very specific move, and I believe her entire design is around that move. So it's a quick mid, as you can see.
Yeah.
That can be cancelled into a back sway or a crouch dash. And when you do that, it becomes +10 on block.
Ooh.
So you might think to yourself, +10 is massive, and it is massive. However, those are not legitimate frames where you can jab after, for example. The opponent can still block. So it's a very good tool for pressure, but the downside, it requires execution in order to be effective. Because as you can see here, if I'm slow with my side step, like this, I lose all of my frame advantage, and I can be launched or punished. So all of our move list was designed around that move. So if you watch my matches, you will see me do this, dash to my opponents. And the reason they have to stand there and block is, as I said before, I'm +10. So if I go into crouch dash and do QCF1 like this, which is a counter hit launcher, and they press anything, they die.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like a big mind game with huge reward. And you have to navigate, okay, is my opponent going to press? Can I keep going forward? Or do I have to take a step back and let him whiff? Stuff like that.
So like, how do you cancel? How do you do it like that? Like, how are you canceling it? So you do side step 1, and then I have to press back and up?
Exactly. So side step 1, go into the back sway, and the back sway can be cancelled at any time with another side step.
Oh.
And when you do it frame perfect, it looks like this.
You look crazy doing that, man.
Yeah, it takes some practice and getting used to, but it's not as hard as it looks.
Okay. So like, what's her key moves? So say, for example, if I'm someone that I've never played Nina in my life, and imagine like I wanted to learn her in Tekken 8. What are like maybe like 5 or 10 key moves that you need to learn with this character?
Yeah, so key moves, as I said, side step 1 is one of them, but it can take a step back for other more traditional moves. So for your lows, you have this move, down back 3. So it's a 20 frame low, that's +4 on hit. It allows you to pressure with down 4, 1, 2 after, so it's a really good pressure tool. If you want a high crushing option, you have down 2 or the slide, both very effective. The slide being a QCF move, so you need to be careful when you input it, otherwise you might get stuff like the forward 3 on accident. So these are going to be your main lows that you're going to use in game. And then of course the mids, the infamous jailing down forward 1, 2. A lot of people complain about this because there is not much counterplay to it, and it's an excellent poke. 1+4 is also very good. Something I want to demonstrate actually. Okay. So if I hit you with down back 3, and you try to sidestep left or right, in this case left because you're crouching, and I do 1+4, it will hit you every time.
Wow.
And it doesn't matter left or right. If you try to sidestep that, it's gonna hit you every time. So if you watch Nina games and you see a lot of Nina players use 1+4 when they have plus frames, it's because they're trying to tell their opponent not to sidestep, because this move will hit them.
So it's like a perfect call out to say stop sidestepping.
Exactly.
Wow.
So these moves are really your key pokes for neutral. And then, of course, you can also play keep outs because launchers are very rewarding in this game. So you do have a safe down forward too. So I-15, -7.
Wow.
That's a normal hit launcher. It does not launch crouching opponents, however, but it's still very good. You have QCF1, so good range, counter hit launcher that does an absurd amount of damage actually in this game, more than Tekken 7. I'm not sure if I can show the hard combo, but
yeah, we are using Parsec, but it's fine. They know that you got that already, man.
Yeah, and for more mid-long range options, you have down back 2, as you can see. A lot of range, counter hit launcher, mid and safe. So very strong move. And it does have some high evasion, which is something to keep in mind.
Okay.
And last but not least, 4, which is also a homing move. A little bit less range down back 2, but faster. So it's good when you're kind of close to your opponent and you don't want to risk using a slow move like this.
Okay.
So I would say these are her main moves that you're going to use when you're playing.
So what about like do they call it the blonde bombshell, the running like this? What about these moves? Would you say these are key moves as well?
I would say these are very important moves. Maybe not key moves because they're not going to be the cornerstone of your gameplay, but they are definitely moves that you will use. So this move is a good way to get in. As you can see, it's +4 on block, so that's very good.
And does a lot of chip. Jeez.
A lot of chip damage, and even more chip damage in heat. And it's a hit engager as well. So it's definitely a very strong move to use.
Okay.
The Power Crush is also very important, especially because in this game, when you absorb attacks, Power Crush has become safer.
So,
and as you can see, it's -14. And one of the weaknesses of that move was that it was so punishable before. But now if you time it correctly and absorb moves, it becomes safe. So you can,
if you jab,
it can become quite nasty, yeah.
That's crazy. Fair enough. And then what about wipe the floor? Like, do you think that's a key move, or it's like kind of like a big kind of gamble?
It's a big gamble. It's a very infamous move, you know, lots of debates, is it reactable or not, and things like that. I steal a lot of matches with it personally, honestly. Like, I'm a big thief in terms of wipe the floor. So it's to use at your own risk, I would say. Don't rely on it, but don't forget about it either.
What about that low? There's like a low high move that she has that's new. It's like a kick punch move. What is that? Because I see that a lot.
So that is sidestep 4-2.
Yeah, smooth. I think this.
Yeah.
Sidestep 4. Oh, sorry, 4-2.
Yeah.
This move is so annoying. It's so annoying.
It is annoying. In Tekken 7, sidestep 4 on its own used to be a counter hit launcher, and as you can see now, it's not anymore. You have to commit the second hit. That's a high for it to become a launcher. However, the good thing is that on hits, it jails. So if you get hit by the low, you cannot duck the high.
See, this is why this is good I've done this version to teach me, because I have tried ducking this, and I'll try to duck and just hold down, but I get hit by the second hit, and I'm like, why am I getting hit by the second hit? I'm pressing down, but I've been hit. But now you're saying it's jailing. It makes a lot of sense because I can't duck. So exactly. I'm not doing down back. I'm doing down to duck. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, fair enough. That's crazy. So like I would say one more thing about this character that I'd like to say is just to add some notes onto it is I've noticed that this character is also about like deleting recoverable health. You know, she has throws that delete recoverable health, and she also has this move here, which is safe, that deletes recoverable health if it hits on counter hit, or is it normal hit?
It does.
Oh, normal hit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that is quite good.
Wow, that's crazy. So would you say that that's her main game plan then? Like she has to kind of like rely on that type of stuff, like to recover, like to delete recoverable health?
I think her main game plan is to be annoying. So your first goal, I would say, when you play is to try to get into heat with a hit engager, preferably, so you have more time.
Okay.
And then play with chip damage. So just have a look at the chip damage this does, for example.
Oh, sorry. Yes, go. Wow.
You see this is just chip damage. It's like almost you got hit by a string. And I can do this 4 times in hits. So I would say the goal is to try to pressure your opponent, play mind games as step 1, as I said. They're afraid to press because you're plus 10. And then sometimes just let it rip. And boom, you get all of this damage. And from that point, you can try to get this grab, which is going to delete your life.
Is that down back 2? Oh no, down forward?
It's down forward 2 plus 4. This one.
Okay.
Which, by the way, has a guaranteed follow-up after.
Okay.
You have F3. This is guaranteed.
Whoa.
Same for this move, as a guaranteed follow-up.
Whoa. So what's that 4-hit string with the guns? How are you doing that? What's that? What's the notation for that?
That string is 1, 2, 1, 1 plus 2.
1, 2, 1, 1 plus 2. That's definitely a key move then, right? No?
It is very important, yes. And you also can access this string with down forward 1, 2. Down forward 1, 2, 1, 1 plus 2. Exactly the same properties.
Down forward. Okay.
I would say be careful using that outside of heats, but in heats, it's very dangerous. So if I put your back at the wall, for example,
okay,
and you get hit by this string, yeah, look at the damage.
Obviously, I know it's parsec. It's got a bit of latency, which is fine.
Yeah, it's like you pretty much die off of 1 hit if your back is at the wall and you get hit by this.
Jeez.
So it's very dangerous, but it is a double high. So if your opponent has a read and ducks, you get launched for that. So it's to be used carefully.
Okay, so you see after you do like the 3rd hit so like when you do down forward 1, 2, this bit here. Oh, this is a high, so you could duck. You have to duck the 3rd hit, right?
You have to duck the 3rd hit because the last hit jails if you block the 3rd hit. I'm trying to duck, I cannot.
That's actually crazy. So I'm learning even stuff how to deal with it against the character because I always thought this bit here was a mid. It looks like a mid.
Yeah, because it's the same animation as this move, while standing 1.
Exactly.
Which is a mid. Which is a bit confusing, to be honest, but that's what they chose to do.
That is crazy. All right, fair enough. So like, if I'm one of the like intermediate or pro players that wants to play Nina, what is her punishments like from 10 to 15 standing and then while standing?
All right, so 10 frames, you have 1-4, which is your damage punisher.
Okay.
It does 24 damage, but it's only plus. It does 22 now. They nerfed it. I didn't even know. So it does 22 damage. However, it's only plus 1, so it's not the greatest advantage. So for the most part, I would use 1-2, which is really the main 10 frame punisher. Okay. It's plus 8 on hit. And if I go into sidestep, because it has a built-in sidestep if you hold up or down after, it becomes plus 11. So at plus 11, I can do sidestep 1 and nothing you can do about it. You cannot step, you cannot reversal, you cannot attack, power crush or anything.
Crazy.
So that is a very good change that they did, because in Tekken 7 it was only plus 6. That is quite a big leap. Then one of her biggest changes in this game, she now has an I-11 hit engager, that's a punisher. So this is an I-11, and it has very good range, does good damage, wall splats, and in hits can go into the hit dash for a guaranteed follow-up.
Okay.
So all of this damage for I-11 is quite massive, I would say.
Sure.
For I-12, she has back 1-4, plus 7 on hits, good range. Good to note that the second hit is a counter hit launcher, if I hit you with the second one only. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's something to keep in mind. For a safer I-12 punish, if you don't want to risk being late with this, because it is punishable on block. at minus 12, I believe. Yes, you can go for back 2-2, which is I-12, homing, both highs but jailing. And it does have a third hit that is a counter hit launcher if your opponent decides to try to get fancy with you. So it's something that's pretty useful. She does have down forward 1-2 that can be used for I-13 if the opponent is crouching. So also something to keep in mind. For I-14, she has this new Punisher that has very good range. Back 3+4, 1+2. I believe it can punish Death Fist really consistently as an indicator of the range. So that's pretty decent.
Oh, it's high. They're all highs. Okay.
Yeah, it is however double high, so you need to be careful that the move you're trying to punish doesn't recover crouching. For crouching opponents, you would use down forward 3-3, which is a new string, mid-mid. Second hit is minus 10. You've blocked, so it's not that big of a deal if you mess up.
Yeah.
And then I-15, she does have a down forward 2 that's safe, as I mentioned earlier. But now she has this amazing I-15 Punisher in back 1+4.
Was that in Tekken 7? In Tekken 7, that wasn't 15?
No, it was I-16 in Tekken 7.
Wow.
So now she has one of the best I-15 Punishers in the game, because this move does almost 100 damage if you do the max damage combo. So that is quite a massive buff that she received. Quickly though, I'm still going to point out some of her slower Punishers because they're very useful.
Okay.
You have up forward 2-1 at I-18 to punish long range moves and stuff like that. Same thing for this one, down back 3+4, I-18 also.
Okay.
So these are going to be the main moves to launch punish move with a lot of pushback. Sorry. Now, for crouching Punishers, while standing, while standing 4, very basic, +7 on hits, -4 on block. Has a decent hitbox and range, so nothing too special about it.
Okay.
For I-13, it becomes interesting. You have while standing 1+2. So outside of it, nothing too special about this move, but in heats, and a lot of people complain about it, especially in tournaments, if you get hit by it, look at the damage.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and it wall splats from very far away. So that is honestly the best I-13 in the game, I think, in heats. And there's a lot of chip damage as well. Can break floor, walls, balconies, and stuff like that. So that's a basic combo.
91 damage.
Yeah, that's half-life from I-13 Punisher. So that is quite mad.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So,
and
like,
yes.
So if you do this and you can't duck because this one's mid now, right? This one is mid. Like the rest, like when we was doing this. No, sorry. No, when we was doing this, that's a high. But then
that's a high.
Mid high. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Wow.
So you can duck the guns on this string though, while standing 1.
I can.
If you are ducking, yeah, you can.
Ah, okay.
This one does not jail.
Okay.
But it does have a mid extension that you need to be careful about. That gives me this.
Knock down a normal hit.
Yes.
Wow. Oof, wow.
It is, however, interruptible on block. So you can throw out down forward 2 and it's going to connect.
Okay.
So it is something that you have to keep in mind. And for I-15, she has while standing 2. Very basic Punisher. -13 on block, so it is punishable. You have to be careful about that. But nothing too crazy about it. It has some decent tracking, so you can use it in neutral for a hard read if you think your opponent is going to sidestep. But aside from that, nothing too fancy about it. And last but not least, to punish stagger lows, she has up forward 2, Same for standing. So I-18, good range, very good damage, and minus 13 on block, which is not too bad. And she has a new addition, while standing 3+4, which is the same thing as down back 3+4. Also very good range, good damage. It is, however, minus 17, as you can see. So if you mess up your punish, you will get launched for that.
Okay. So like, this is very interesting because she has, most of the time in Tekken, it's usually like, you know, when we talk about punishment, it's usually I-10 to I-16 and we're cool. But then it's like, this character has even more than, it's like it goes even more than that. And you have to know because it's like a crucial part of her gameplay and just her game plan in general, right?
It is. Something I forgot to mention that's actually very important is that her power crush can be done from both standing and crouching with while standing 1+2. And so for some moves, like Paul's Death Fists at tip range, you have to use this move in order to punish it. Because it does have good range and will punish Death Fist and things of that nature.
Okay. All right, cool. So like, you know, just like we spoke about some tips and tricks. This is what I wanted to get into in this section, but we already spoke about some of the tips and tricks already. So I was wanting to know to kind of change it up a little bit. What's her game plan? What is she trying to do in Tekken 8? Like when you play, we don't want to get, I know you're a pro player and stuff like that, so I don't want you to give all of your source, but like what is she trying to achieve in gameplay? Like what are we trying to look for?
So I think what the devs had in mind when they designed Nina in Tekken 8, they really wanted you to be a threat with sidestep 1. They added this new move, which is forward 4, which is a safe mid, that's -5. That goes into a high, that is also safe, and that can be cancelled into a sidestep. And as you can see, when I cancel it, I am +2 on block.
Wow.
So it is a good way to get in and start your pressure with sidestep 1. And it's gonna force your opponents to answer because, as I said, I'm +2 sidestepping, and sidestep 1 comes out at 14. So your opponent can jab and do magic 4 and stuff like that. However, if they press and I finish the string, they get hit by this, which is a heat engager, and then the situation becomes even worse for them. This move can be ducked though, so you need to be careful. But that is kind of the mind game that goes with it. So I do believe her general game plan, you're trying to get into heat with moves like this, because this move also, by the way, is hit confirmable. Like you can actually just fish for hit confirms on that.
So if I see it, I can literally, I can put a delay. That's crazy.
There's a big delay. They even nerfed it. Used to be even more before, but it's still confirmable. That's very good.
Okay.
And so I think, your game plan is going to be get in with moves like this, with the slide, with forward 4, and try to start your pressure like this, like that. And then you check them from time to time. Check them, be annoying, check them, go low a little bit, like this. No, be a pest, really. And then once in a while, finish the string. If they get antsy, try to press, then you win the round, just like that.
Insane.
So I think that's our main game plan. Be annoying and try to get a sense for when your opponent is really losing it and is going to try to mash out of it.
And then add in some like command grabs as well, obviously like the multi throws and stuff like that.
This throw, like Nina has a insane throw game in this game. I mean, she's had since Tekken 1 maybe.
Yeah.
She has 1 break, 2 break, 1+2 break. She has multi-throws like king. Like that. And her multi-throws delete recoverable life as well.
What is that? What is the blue spark? I didn't realize that she had a blue spark. This is the first time I've ever seen it. I've fought some Ninas. I've never seen a blue spark with her.
This is a new addition. So now, if you don't know the commands for the throw, you can just press 3, for example.
Press
1 or 2 actually. Yeah, you press 1 and then 2, and she's going to go into the follow-ups automatically without the blue spark. It does less damage, but you don't need to know the inputs. But if you do the correct inputs, like this, you get the multi-loose pack, and you actually deal more damage.
I like the fact that they did that. I ain't gonna lie. They just added the boost part to say, yeah, I am that person that knows how to do it properly. I respect it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So like overall, we know that the game is still, I think the game still needs some improvements in some areas in terms of balancing. Like, where do you see Nina in, like, you know, I know it's still too early to talk about tier lists and stuff, and some people don't like to talk about tiers, but would you say Nina is like upper, middle, or low?
I would say she's upper. Like, realistically, when you look at the tools she has everything. So it's really hard to put a character that has everything low on the tier list. But I wouldn't put her S tier because she's very reliant on the player being proficient to a point where it's almost unrealistic if you're trying to beat some of the top players in the world. Like, you literally have to make no mistakes. So because of that, I wouldn't put her S tier, but I do think she's very strong.
So it's a side note. That, you see the little side step? Oh yeah, I got it going on right now. All right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is the... I kind of forgot to talk about it, to be honest, because she has so much stuff to talk about. But this is the infamous Hayashida step, which is the backsway that we talked about earlier, that you can do with QCB, that you cancel with up. And when you do it very fast, you can pretty much replace a backdash.
How are you doing this? Like, how do you do it?
I used to do it on pad as well, actually. On hitbox, it's even easier. But on pad, it's really rolling your thumb from down all the way to up in a smooth motion. It takes some practice, but it is doable very fast on pad as well.
Look at it.
And this...
I'm looking at you. That looks crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not something I'm learning straight away. That's crazy.
Yeah, it does take some time.
All right, wicked, man. Well, Jodd, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it, man. And obviously, again, I have the utmost respect for you. One of the best Ninas in the world, if not the best Nina in the world. Thank you very much for obviously taking your time out and doing this. Really appreciate it. For the people that want to find you, where can they find you on social media? Do you stream? Are you on Twitter? Are you on X, formerly known as Twitter? Are you on YouTube? Where can people find you, man?
So I am on X at Jodd28, and I also stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/Jodd. And yeah, I'm trying to stream every day. I'm on the way to become partner, so I'm putting the grind in, you know. And if you want to see some Nina gameplay, and from time to time some Zafina action as well, because I've started playing Zafina a little bit, then come check out my stream.
Awesome. So you lot heard it here. Make sure you lot go and check him out. Make sure to go subscribe, follow, you know, all of that good stuff and support, because, you know, there's a lot of talented Tekken players that are streaming now, which is something that I really like to see, because there wasn't really that many streamers around Tag 2. They started to increase a tad bit in Tekken 7, but in Tekken 8, there's so many people streaming now. And Jodd is one of the talented players that is streaming, so go check him out. Thank you again for coming on, and yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, man. We will be on to the next video, so make sure you lot check it out. Take it easy, everyone. Peace.